The PWHL playoffs have arrived in the state of hockey. After splitting the first two games in Toronto, the Sceptres and the Frost play the next two inside the XL Energy Center. Kristen Campbell will look to bounce back from Friday's 5-3 loss. The Brandon, Manitoba native allowed more than 2 goals against for the first time in her 7 career playoff games. She's looking to earn the Sceptres' first playoff road win and retake the series lead. Maddie Rooney is back, second straight start, picking up her 4th career playoff win against Toronto Friday night. The Minnesota native has not allowed a playoff goal from the Sceptres inside this building. Turnbull, Dominic Petrie needed center ice and a beautiful fresh Frost logo inside XL Energy Center. Toronto puts it in Minnesota territory quick. Lee Steckline first to the puck. Steckline, of course, coming off a historic 3-point game. Did it all in the second period, 2 goal, assist, goal.
The second period was wild, wasn't it? 5 goals in the second period as both teams really got the offense going.
Toronto has open scoring in both of the first 2. Now Natalie Spooner driving the action, cuts in front, skims across the crease instead on the near side.
She's just looking to throw that one on net. She's got nobody helping out. Toronto on a line change.
Jenna Watkins looking up for some support. Has Britta Curl. Curl comes in. Pad save for Campbell, her first of the game. In and around Izzy Daniel, out number 8, Minneapolis native. In comes Michaela Cava, feeds it for Coyne Schofield. It pops up and behind the net. Coyne Schofield still looking for her first playoff point. To the point now, Sophie Jakes gets the post. Oh my goodness, how close was that early on here? Minnesota, a team with plenty of first period goals. Now another chance for Jakes. It actually redirects off of a teammate. Scramble.
Well, this is exactly what Minnesota wants. You just start throwing pucks on net. Kristen Campbell was not sharp last game. So if I'm Ken Klee and company, I'm telling my players to put absolutely everything on net. Test her out right away.
Great energy here. 3rd game in 5 days for these two. And not just any games, playoff games with plenty of intensity. Felt like an elevated physicality. And Sarah Nurse back out. There was some concern for her after she had a collision and her mask went up, her cage went up, and actually it was a cut to her nose, and she has a black eye, but she's good to go today.
Just makes you look like you're playing playoff hockey.
Quick feed from Gosling looking for Woods. Gosling, of course, 2 goals in game 1, including the power play game winner. Scamora tries to feather it in, and Rooney makes a sprawling save as Gosling was all tied up. We'll reset to the right of Maddie Rooney. Sheppers at the dot. Toronto, not a clear win, so the Frost take control. Toronto has led face-offs throughout the series so far. In quick, Himlerova to Liz Sheppers. She scores!
The 4th line getting it done again. Liz Sheppers has been outstanding so far in this playoff series. She beats Hannah Miller to the net through the neutral zone to get this chip play from Himlerova. This line has been outstanding. See them battle in the middle of the ice, and then she beats Miller back, gets this puck, goes 5-hole. She opens the scoring right away. Now you watch for this to be a huge goal. We said that Kristen Campbell struggled last game. If you're a goaltender, you want to get in it right away. You want to make some key saves. 2 have gotten by her already, 1 off the post.
What a way to get the home crowd right back in it. The Frost have felt like they've been away for so long. Admittedly, haven't played a ton of home games recently. They've been on the road a lot, but for Sheppers, her first goal this playoff, 2nd playoff goal in her career. Game 4 of that final series. Sophie Jakes thought she would score the double OT winner.
Claire Turnbull with a clean win. She has been excellent in the dot this series.
Hannah Miller trying to get it out, but a quick giveaway, and Curl hits it just wide. What a shot from number 77. Toronto trailing for the first time in the first period. Jessie Comfer forced to take it around. They're just going to reset here. Flanagan looking up. Both teams recognizing how big this game is, of course. Just a best-of-5 series. So you get a 2-game lead. You're just 1 win away from heading to the Walter Cup, or at least fighting for it, rather, in the PWHL finals. Watts from the far side gets it to one of her own. Sarah Nurse in through heavy traffic. Izzy Daniel can't hold. Deckline quick to move it. Harmon from the point. Nurse! It's a miss, but she had the shot and the look fast. Her shot blocked Brooke McQuaig. Now Harmon needing to beat Grace Zumwinkle. Gets there first. In the legs. Nurse puts it to the near side for Watts. She holds. In comes reinforcements. Savannah Shell being down low as well, working. Toronto in their road whites. A quick tap by Megan Carter. Release Deckline back in control.
Well, that Daryl Watson, Nurse, and Izzy Daniel line, they get Toronto's first really good chance so far of this game. They were a -2 last game, so I'd look for them to have a real rebound effort.
Maddie Rooney played it. Now Spooner! Just had to quickly regain control. Floated down. Bit of a scramble in front of the net. Flanagan looking for a wraparound. Back out now. Monroe to Malte. It's up high into the netting.
That pass was just a little bit too far ahead for Emma Malte.
It's over 6 minutes into the first period.
Couple good looks, though. Couple good looks.
Couple good looks. Minnesota with that one goal lead early. Jakes will just keep firing at will from the point. Why not? Gets it down for her teammates to get to work. Jakes once more. Tries to float that one in. A big hit on Shisheva. Monroe coming in with that physical play. Curl to Flaherty. Flaherty shoots and scores! No goal, no goal. Just a reaction in the building. We play on. Perhaps another chance. It was on the side of the net. I jumped to it because the crowd was on their feet.
Well, I think we all thought that one went in the net, and it was on the outside of the goal. Of course, that would have been backbreak. Take a look at this one from the overhead. You can see clearly on the outside of the net, but not so clearly. It looked a little bit like maybe it was in the goal. Kristen Campbell wasn't sure. She does a little spinorama after the fact, trying to find that puck. She thought it was behind her.
Crowd was hyped for it. Maggie Flaherty has scored a playoff goal. And there it is! Second goal for Minnesota, and first playoff goal for Brooke McQuaig.
Well, this one looked to be a set play off the face-off, and Minnesota, who has not been doing well in the circle in the first 2 games, they've won a few key ones so far in this game. They win this one. This is a reverse play. Zumwinkle comes around the backside of the circle, and there's Brooke McQuaig, gets her stick open. She's in coverage. Toronto is right there with her. But she finds a way to get a stick on that puck, and she beats Kristen Campbell once again. Now, if you're Toronto, you're sitting in a position where your backup goalie in Reagan Kirk, she's out.
You've got 2 goals on 4 shots, and that is what Kristen Campbell allowed in the third period, game 2. 2 goals on 4 shots. Toronto heavily out shooting the Frost in that final frame on Friday night, 13-4. So here we are, a big lead for the home team early on in this game. In Larova, now Steckline in the far corner. Minnesota now with 31 first period goals throughout the regular and postseason. Fast, forced to play it off the wall just to get her team the change. Katie Knoll, her pass nearly intercepted. Got a 2-on-2 here. Izzy feeds it to Steckline, she scores! Lee Steckline! An absolute offensive juggernaut so far in these playoffs.
Just a dream start for Minnesota right now. And Lee Steckline jumps into the rush at exactly the right spot. So they're looking 2-on-2, 2-on-2. She's in coverage as well, but that coverage has to be tight. So there's no recognition there that she's coming in. Toronto's got players coming back, but you got to come back with a purpose. So Steckline, despite the fact that she's in coverage, she's wide open. Gets a stick on that puck. She beats Campbell. Minnesota's up 3-0. 8 minutes into this game. You're 3 goals down 8 minutes in. You got to stop the bleeding. You got to get back onto the offensive. And there is time to chip away, but you got to change your game right now. You need some big saves from your goaltender, absolutely. She's got to come up with one for you, but you got to get the puck into the offensive zone and see what you can generate.
3 first-period goals, matches the Frost most in a game this season. Happened May 3rd against Boston and March 7th against Ottawa. That one catches the post. That could have snuck in as well. Britta Curl looking for her second goal of the playoffs. Jenna Watkins. Out to Petrie. Goes across to Sophie Jakes. That gets helped out in front. Didn't reach Campbell. Now Harmon. Trying to go cross ice for Jessie Comfer. Foot race. Negates the icing and loose puck. Picked up casually by the Frost. Kept in by Allie Monroe. Jenna Watkins gets her stick on it. Jenna Watkins, who scored the insurance marker Friday in Toronto. Back home here in the PWHL playoffs, Sceptres, McQuigg, and Steckline for a 3-0 lead in Minnesota.
Toronto did really well in the first period of game 1. Minnesota has flipped the script here, so this icing might be helpful to Toronto just to see if they can get something going.
To the right of Rooney, and Toronto does win it. Watts, though, pushed off the puck on the far wall. Sceptres banks it smartly, gets it back in the Toronto end. But not a fast coming out. There's a player who can be a game changer, even if she's able to get on the board, but that could have been another chance for the Frost to pounce on the puck. Along the far side, player in the middle is Harmon.
Fast with a nice little bump to the middle to get out of that zone. It's a nice pass.
Gets it out for Daryl Watts. Nurse goes off the bench as well. Now Kelly Panic. We'll send it back. Natalie Spooner coming up. It's time for Emma Malte to come in. The puck works itself out into the neutral zone, and Flanagan can't fire it back. Now Megan Carter trying to get a step ahead of Grace Zumwinkle. Nearly does, but in the far corner now. Back in Toronto's territory. Plenty of space here. Channel Watkins gets the bodies in front. Channel Watkins once more. Zumwinkle has to put it down near the slot. Sophie Jakes, this blue line is all hers right now.
Well, it almost looks right now like you're watching a power play, and if you're at home wondering what's going on, you are watching 5-on-5, but Toronto just does not look like they're on the same page. A lot of their passes not connecting. Looks like sometimes they're not reading off of one another very well. Minnesota with a lot of puck recovery and then right back in on the attack.
The Sceptres so focused on starts when they were at home in game 1 and 2. You know that's still the focus here, but certainly not what they wanted to see. And down 3 early. First time Minnesota has opened scoring in the playoffs, but they did open in all 6. And Turnbull comes in, nearly puts it 5-0, and now we're getting into the rough stuff. Allie Monroe taking some punishment there as 4 Frost players swarm her.
Toronto with their first big chance of the game. Maddie Rooney makes the save on Blair Turnbull.
Still plenty of hockey left. And no lead. It feels no lead is safe in the playoffs. So we've seen as well in the other semifinal series. Ottawa making a 2-goal comeback to tie that game earlier today. Through the center, Grace Sumwinkle on a breakaway comes in and denied by Campbell.
Well, that one will feel good for Kristen Campbell. She got the pad over. Sumwinkle misses the net, but her pad was there.
That was big. It looked like it was going to be 4-3 easy. 7.5 minutes left in the first period.
Well, listen, you know, a 3-goal deficit is not insurmountable.
It is a 6-game goal drought for Grace Sumwinkle, who hasn't had the kind of season she would have liked. Played 22 games, 10 points, 4 goals. It was a different story. Had 11 goals in 24 games last year. One of the rookie leaders.
Well, you wonder if that injury really set her back. She missed 8 games with an injury and hasn't quite been the same since.
That was certainly a big part of it. In Minnesota, a team that battled so many injuries, especially in January, where they played the bulk of their games at home. Now Malte to Izzy Daniel. Daniel looking for her first playoff goal.
Coyne Schofield just got a stick on Daniel's stick. She didn't get that shot off that she wanted.
Now Coyne Schofield along the near point, picked up her first playoff point. Secondary assist on the Lee Steckline goal, which was the third for Minnesota Frost. All goals even strength. Now Jakes gets it out to Cava. And the Sceptres can't seem to set up. Coyne Schofield. Puck is taken away, so she goes off for the change. Just finishing her shift now. Carter to Fast. Fast carries it in herself. Draws the Frost her way. Natalie Spooner below the goal line. Can't hold on. Bookbinder getting her stick on it. Now Sheppers, who opens scoring. Tries to shovel it out on her backhand.
Just no room to breathe there. Natalie Bookbinder, a really good job to take away that time and space from Spooner.
Harmon to Flanagan. Flanagan uses the wall. Send it down. Scamora coming in. Such a tenacious player as well. Now Emma Woods has Flanagan. Flanagan shoots. Laura Kluge out there as well. She tries to rim it. Kluge gets it down for Haley Scamora. Scamora nowhere to go. That smothering pressure from the Frost. Puts it to the far corner. Jessie Comfer is there, but still to the outside, so she sends it along the boards. Now Turnbull, the captain, looking to make something happen for Toronto. To Monroe. Monroe shoots. It's blocked in front. A chance. Daryl Watts! Her first playoff goal. It's a big one to get Toronto on the board here.
Well, Johnny on the spot, Daryl Watts. You knew that they weren't going to keep her off the board forever, and this is an absolutely huge goal for Toronto. It brings them back into this game. Shot from the point, scramble in front, puck gets over to Daryl Watts, and she puts it away. But this really starts with Haley Scamora, a shift earlier. She's the one that did a ton of damage on the forecheck. She keeps the puck in the zone, she gets on the defender, she makes their life miserable, and now they're piggybacking shifts on a tired group of Minnesota players.
Miller with the face-off win. Natalie Spooner coming in along the near wall. Sends it back. The hash marks now. Renata Fast trying to shake off that pressure, but who else will? Brooke McQuigg, a big-bodied rookie that makes her presence known out there. Natalie Spooner fans on the shot. Fast, looking for a sharp angle. Thompson controls it, plays it back to get it out to Panic, and she helps out her teammate as Zumwinkle will chase it down below the goal line. Connors with a quick enough stick. Spooner through the legs of Sheppers gets it to Harmon. And they slow down that effort. Final 3 minutes here of a busy first period that started off to a 3-0 lead for Minnesota. No surprise that the 4 combined goals in this period is the most in an opening frame of a PWHL playoff game. Sceptres could fire it right away, but blocked. Not only blocked, but then controlled and steered the near corner by Maggie Flaherty. Flaherty was not in the lineup the first 2 games for the Frost. She's got fresh legs here and able to push Haley Scamora out of the way. But that'll be an interference call. We've got the first power play of the game here, Becky.
On the power play efficiencies in this playoff series have been outstanding as well. So you want to manage how much often you go to the penalty box in Toronto, who's been good all year. Maggie Flaherty, she's a tough player. You know she's going to play with a chip and a bit of an edge as she steps up on that net drive. You try to box out your player, maybe just a little bit too much shoulder on that play.
You're not in pursuit of the puck. It's kind of breaking some of the fundamental rules for the PWHL here. So this power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel powers through tough messes. Toronto 2 for 4, 50% on the power play. They scored on the player advantage in both game 1 and 2. Watts pulls up. There's the first shot attempt. Comfort plays it back to the point for Fast. One-timer by Miller. It's wide on the short side.
Interference at 17:32.
Miller once more sends it around, but who will get there first? The Frost will get a good clear here as the puck goes by Fast. She looks back, she'll stay on. Miller to Fast. Some fresh players for the Frost. Fast floats it to Watts. Now Jesse Comfer across Miller. Miller shoots off the pad and Rooney covers. Toronto on the power play, first player advantage of the game. Harmon to Molte and back. Flanagan, Harmon, once more Molte, and she nearly loses hold of the puck as Panic loses an edge. Now Harmon, it's kept out, doesn't get a piece of Rooney. They'll continue on here. 48 seconds remaining on the power play. Molte looking for a way-in. That'll send the puck sailing through the neutral zone and back out into Toronto's territory. 35 seconds remaining on the power play. Sarah Nurse trying to get something going here. Spooner. Half cut short and some quick work by Renata Fast. We're in the final minute of the first period. 19 seconds, now 18 remaining on this power play, but Coyne Schofield is not letting Fast get by her. Watts, cross-ice feed to Turnbull. She tries to just put it back in the Minnesota zone.
Some good work in the neutral zone from Minnesota.
Now just one shot on that power play. A good penalty kill for the Frost. As now 20 seconds remain here in the opening frame. A busy period. Can they add to their tally? The Frost jumping on a turnover.
It looked like Fast was looking to hit her partner. Nobody was there, so she held on. Turned it over, but recovered it.
1.2 seconds left here in the first. We'll have a face-off.
If Minnesota goes up 4-0, you think to yourself, this game is over. But at 3-1, it's certainly far from over.
So a fast start for Minnesota. Goals by Liz Sheppers, Brooke McQuigg, Lee Stecklein, and then Daryl Watts with a response from Toronto. Heisey and Nurse, who was so good through those 2 games. He wins it there for Toronto. Carter puts it down on the near corner. Malte trying to get to it behind the net, but Coyne Schofield chips it off the glass into the neutral zone. Carter forced back into Sceptres territory. On the near side, she put it there for Malte, but Sophie Jakes will send it back. Now Sarah Nurse comes in. Nurse through heavy traffic to Malte. And the Frost able to sweep in, take care of that. Oh, Sophie Jakes has eyes for the net. Looks back instead. Rim around for Michaela Cava. Michaela Cava, the playoff goal, scored goal number 2 for Minnesota on Friday. Ended up being a 5-3 win for the Frost. In jumps Callie Flanagan. She settles it back, looks for her teammates.
Well, there's a smart play. Put it down into the corner when you have nothing. She's trying to wait out the line change, but just couldn't quite wait long enough to get everyone on.
Jenna Watkins trying to keep it away. Frost in their own zone here now. Natalie Spooner comes out with it. She can't get it by. Now Watkins so solid all season for the Frost. And not a fast. Over to Carter. Carter shoots. She scores! Toronto makes it a one-goal game, and it will be Maggie Connors who picks up this playoff goal.
They put things to the front of the net, and you never know quite what's going to happen. Renata Fast with another good shift. She drives the puck down low, nice evasive turn, drives the puck down low, brings the coverage with her, and then throws it to the top. So now she's opened things up. There's your shot. Carter has all sorts of time. Gets a nice fortuitous tip on that. Well, that hits a defender, sorry. Maggie Connors with the shot hits the defender. Looks like we're going to have another penalty here. I think this one's an illegal check. And so Minnesota's going to go to the power play. Get their first opportunity.
First 22, 2 minutes for illegal hit.
And Minnesota, whose power play has been very good over this series too. 3 for 5 coming into this game. Again, the power play efficiencies have been pretty spectacular. Megan Carter steps up and she lowers the boom.
Royale, Tiger Towel, paper towel power play.
Right here.
Second of the game for Toronto.
It's time for Minnesota power play.
Michaela Gava shoots. Check that. It's a Minnesota power play.
Minor penalty on Sceptres number 23, Megan Carter. 2 minutes for body checking.
As they get their first look on the player advantage, the Frost. Chance here to regain a 2-goal lead. And that would be a big one. It's the Frost first player advantage of the game. They've got some good stats too. 3 for 5 on the power play in this series so far.
Well, like I said, power play efficiencies in both series. Now, it looked like anyone had scored a power play goal in the Montreal-Ottawa, but they were sitting pretty good as well. So
Taylor Heisey to Brooke McQuigg, and another pass. Maybe one too many. Coyne Schofield came in.
Oh, I think
ran out of room.
Absolutely one too many. McQuigg was right in the middle of the ice. In prime real estate, passed herself out of that real estate.
Jake's looking up. Now Panic. Her pass to Zumwinkle, turned over, and Harmon just flips it to the neutral zone. Jake's in full control, hanging back, and Campbell just out of reach to play it. Into the near corner. 20 seconds remaining on this Minnesota power play. Come quick here. Board battle in the near corner. Who's going to pop the puck out? Haley Scamora goes down, but Blair Turnbull, the hard bank off the wall, and no shots. You see here, their time expires. No shots on that power play. It's still in control. They've been able to score even strength 3 goals for a 3-0 lead. Hookbinder sends it on net. Comes around loose, kept out as Fast gets there. The curl. This time Maggie Flaherty, a hard shot off the end boards.
When Renata Fast gets her feet moving on that breakout, it is rare that they don't get the puck out of the zone. She did just that. She got the puck under pressure.
Oh, Natalie Spooner coming up net front quick. And Hannah Miller doing the work to retrieve the puck. Puts it to the near corner for Miller in close range, and Rooney with a big stop. Connor swapped out there, but Minnesota, they won the draw, looking to get out of their own zone. Allie Monroe, she tied the game Friday night in the second period. Thompson, some quick work, keep the puck away. Campbell sends it around. Sceptres can't get a good clear. Now Flanagan takes it back point. Schofield in on that forecheck. Deck line to Thompson. They'll play it up for Noel. Miller floats it into the neutral zone. Connors, who just scored Toronto's second. And hold on, the puck goes into the benches. So now a one-goal game, still Minnesota in the lead, but Maggie Connors, it's all yours. Her first playoff goal. Takes it in, and Toronto trying to get to the middle. Izzy Daniel just underfoot. Now Carter from the point just gets it back down. Turnbull. Check that was Nurse. Now Izzy Daniel once again trying to get there. Malte takes the body. Puck back in the neutral zone, and Nurse gets it out. A chance here for Malte. A shot blocked. Gets it to the far corner. As the channel, Watkins comes in, gets hit. What a hit that was. Got a penalty coming?
Well, that's Megan Carter's second of the game. Said she lowered the boom on the first one. Did she ever lower it on that one? Be interesting to see if they don't review this hit. And she hits Channel Watkins really hard at the benches. Not a player we've seen a lot of that from. She's a big, strong player. Doesn't throw her body around a ton, but she certainly has this game. Both of these hits that she's taken penalties on have come oppositional force, so she's skating into her opponent. Now, you might have an argument that she's got to play on the puck. She plays the puck with her stick first as she makes contact. She's going to sit down and give Minnesota another opportunity. Minnesota really couldn't get anything established the first time around, but you don't want to give them too many chances.
Yeah, 0 for 1 and no shots. The last time they had the 5-on-4. This power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel, but still, just as Toronto's starting to crawl back and potentially tie this game up, this is a big opportunity. Team with 3 power play goals already in this series. Heisey drops it back for Steckline, puts it down. Had curl net front. Check that, it's Clara Himlarova. Now Heisey. Heisey trying to find perhaps curl as she was headed off. Curl stays on, and Thompson as well. Leaves it back for Heisey. And great hand-eye there by Allie Monroe. Cava to Steckline. Trades passes, looks up, doesn't have a lane, out to Heisey. Comes in on the circle. Good stick by Shell Bean.
Well, that's a great stick to read that and take away that same pass as Taylor Heisey is trying to thread that through the needle. That's going to be a deadly shot.
And as this draw happens, 4 OT is starting between Ottawa and Montreal. Yes, that game continues, still tied at 2. Panic wins it for the Frost. Jakes has to put it down. Cava, they score! Goal number 2 for Brooke McQuigg, this time on the power play.
Brooke McQuigg's a player that likes to get into the middle of the ice, into that gritty area, and she does just that on this goal. She's down on a knee to make sure that she picks this one up. Kristen Campbell's got to make one really good save. But that puck bounces back out. Renata Fass is right there, but just can't quite take the stick quickly enough. Brooke McQuigg finds the back of the net for her second. She's a player that has been very good in that spot. Quite often we see Britta Curl on the other unit. She's there. She's been good there as well. But McQuigg, she's been deadly. She gets into that area.
From Bowmanville, Ontario, 4th-round draft pick, Brooke McQuigg, 24 years old, and she was humming at a 25 shooting percentage, for most of the season and then ended at 20%, so very effective when she does have a chance to take the shot.
Well, you get those players that like to play down low and doesn't take them much.
Fast to Harmon. Harmon managed to get it across. A kick saved by Rooney. Rooney really untested here. Just 5 shots faced. We're approaching the 9-minute mark of the second period. Gamora throws it down at Julia Gosling as well on the doorstep. Gosling tries to take it all the way around. Tries to get it out to Renata Fast. Pulls it in, takes the shot, it trickles through, but Rooney covers. Toronto and the Fleet are tied for the second most at 7. In comes Taylor Heisey. Make that Britta curl, now looking back over her shoulder. Petrie trying to feed it to her, but Monroe and Flanagan getting to work for the Sceptres. Dangerous place to be. Curl back out. Quick touch there. Petrie handling that. Settling the puck down. She blows a tire and Sceptres looking for a way out.
You got Petrie and Curl battling down low, and that's a tough 2 players when you're in tight like that. They win that battle and get a little bit of their zone time from it, but 2 gritty, 2 net front players, 2 heavy players.
And that was a good stick there for the Sceptres by Daryl Watts, just trying to keep it in the zone. Harmon, it's out of reach. That gives Michaela Gavas some space. Fast tracking her. My goodness, Renata Fast saving that play there. And that one could have been a wonky bouncing through as well. Another chance here. Minnesota so effective at just putting those shots towards the net. A 2-on-1 now. Daryl Watts trying to get control, puts it up. Manages to sauce it over. In comes Sarah Nurse. Nurse looking for a way in. Spooner net front, but Nurse gets the puck back. Tries to float it through the legs. Michaela Cava will just chip it up.
Well, Toronto had a 2-on-1. They were just a little too slow to execute it, and they didn't get it off the rush.
Yeah, a team that was really leading the speed and pace through the first 2 games. Now, Malte sends it down. Nurse out there. Cuts off the pass. Carter in the neutral zone. Trying to close up. Daniel gets it out. Shelbeen fires it off the wall. Out of reach for Daniel.
She's got no one on the near boards in support.
That gives Minnesota some space to come in. Steckline for Zumwinkle. Kept out once more, Zumwinkle.
Carter with a good stick there to take Zumwinkle to the net.
Jakes just floats it down. No cover. They'll play on. Under 8.5 left here in the second period. 4-2 for Minnesota. Gosling, her pass to no one. In through the neutral zone. Katie Knoll. Some quick work there by Gosling to make good on that. Still, Himlarova has an assist in this game already. Getting to work. Down low, Katie Knoll chips it up. Jakes steps up, and it's stopped by Campbell. A long-distance shot denied there, but the Frost jump ahead to another 2-goal lead. Brooke McQuigg's second of the game, this time on the power play. A big happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, including those on the ice right now. Captain for the Minnesota Frost, Kendall Coyne-Schofield and Natalie Spooner.
Gives a different definition to the word hockey mom.
Absolutely. Curl to Jakes. Puts it down. Petrie battling with Turnbull to get to it. Curl once more. Had some screens in play. Back down. Petrie getting at it. Curl looking back. Shielding. Out to Steckline, across to Jakes once more. Blocked. And out comes Daryl Watts. She loses the puck, my goodness, but Watts made that happen just to carry it out of the Toronto zone.
Well, she's had her head up looking for some reinforcements and then mishandled the puck.
Jakes looks back, holds the puck to herself. Trying to find Shishova. Back out now, Allie Monroe She'll be patient this time. Flips it into the near corner. There's the reinforcements. Natalie Bookbinder is tracking her path as well. Point Schofield digging in. Under 7 minutes left in the middle frame. Shots 13-10 for Minnesota. The Frost with a 2-goal lead from distance, and then kept into by the slot is Claire Thompson. Handling the puck like the veteran she is, despite just her first year in the PWHL.
She does a good job to take that puck back out of traffic and then wind it up and get it out of the zone.
Spooner out to Miller this time. Trying to get it up and around to Connors. Connors with a goal already scored. Most recent one for the Sceptres. Back then it was 3-2. McQuigg getting that 4th Frost goal. She's the 4th different Minnesota player with a multi-goal game. Now another going to get going. Steckline. Loose puck. We're not a fast, will drive traffic now. Plays it up for Izzy Daniel. She's taken to the far side by Thompson. From the point. Kept out. That was Annashelle Bean just trying to play it down for her team.
A bit of a knuckleball shot from the point, but you never know what's going to happen with those ones. Sometimes you get them through. Goalie has trouble reacting to it.
Never know what will bounce. Annashelle Bean, captain for Sweden's national team. Just over 5 minutes left here in the second. Frost leading in shots on goal, 12-10. 12, by the way. Laura Stacey, and now in 4 OT with Montreal in the game against Ottawa, has 12 shots in the game.
Well, they've played 2 games, though.
They
so
have.
They
absolutely have. What a hit on Emma Woods. That will cost Minnesota, but if the Sceptres retaliate, I was concerned there. The whistle blew, but it almost looked like the retaliation was going to happen before the end of the play.
Well, that's one of those fine lines, right, where you want to step in and defend your teammate, but you desperately need this power play. Minnesota's going to go to the penalty box. Toronto, who, again, been deadly all season, and they've been deadly in this playoff as well.
Minnesota number 19, 2 minutes for interference.
That's Maggie Flaherty's second penalty of the game, so she gets herself into the lineup, and she's a gritty player, but, you know, you got to watch that line. She gets her toe caps turned, which is critical, but she's got no play on the puck. And so that's the key defining point in that play. No play on the puck. Had she had stick on puck, that hit's okay.
Yeah, she is a gritty player. Of course, physical play and hits are part of the game here, but Flaherty has served suspension for supplementary discipline before. This time a minor penalty. We go to the second power play for the Sceptres. Royale Tiger Towel. And there's a whistle. Still plenty of time in the neutral zone now. Toronto 0 for 1 on the power play in this game. Just one shot the last time they had the advantage. Fast to Watts. As they'll look to step up with some speed here, but still forced to the outside. That's where they'll stay. Watts comes in. Pops it up for Fast. Fast to Miller. Miller back to Fast. Quick shots, no one-timer. There it is. Trickles just down. Fast holds it in. That sets up the Frost. Ashishova take up some time. Plays it off to Himlerova to check your teammates.
Let's go.
Now Miller. Toronto in their own end. Not where they want to be on the power play as Watts gets
both teams,
a little caught up on the official.
Both teams have had some issues getting set up on the power play.
They came into this humming. Of course, 50% efficiency is hard to hold on to. Panic, shorthanded, just goes wide. Looking for a jailbreak here in the postseason.
Fast just spanned on that puck. Gave her stick a little look after the fact, too, to say what happened there.
Minnesota with only one shorthanded goal. And in the PWHL, when you score a shorthanded goal, we call it the jailbreak because it ends the power play, frees your penalized player from the penalty box. And, of course, you get the goal. And what a goal that would be to make it 5-2. But right now, Toronto still chasing. 5 seconds remaining. It looked like another good kill for the Frost. As time expires, no shots on that one, but Toronto still set up here on the attack. If they can get off the wall. Jakes with Channel Watkins. Jakes in through the middle. Jakes. What a stick by Harmon as two of them go down, both playing the puck. Carter with an incredible block there. Keeps everyone to the outside. Channel Watkins looking for some space. The one-timer from Jakes. It pops up, and they put it away! Sophie Jakes will lead the line. But the captain, Kendall Coyne-Schofield, was right on the doorstep in case it didn't break through. It's now a 5-2 game for the Frost.
That's a back-breaking goal because that's one that Kristen Campbell has to have. The defenders once again, and Sophie Jakes with the shot. That's from distance. That hits her glove. Trickles up and over. We saw one just like that in game 2. And those are killer for a team. You're playing all right. You're still in this game. And those soft goals, well, they break your back. That's a tough one for Toronto to take.
Fresh off her game winner Friday, Sophie Jakes gets her second of the playoffs and second point in this game already with an assist as well. Assisted on the power play goal by Brooke McQuigg. As Cava was coming in for goal number 6, why not just pour it on? This was a one-goal game at one point after the Frost were down 3-0. Watts comes in as they bury it. Toronto responds quickly as the announcer still announcing the big goal by Jakes.
Well, this game is just crazy. This is what they call a barn burner. This is a barn burner. I mean, it's just goals after goals right now in a high-scoring affair. You don't tend to get this in playoffs. This is speed on the entry, speed through the neutral zone, and then speed on the net drive as well. You got 3 Toronto Sceptres all around the crease. So you know if that puck pops out, Minnesota, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble, and they are just that as Callie Flanagan activates and goes to the net. So you got a couple of players that puck bounces past them. Well,
Maddie Rooney, by the way, allowing 3 goals on 10 shots, 5 goals the other way on 13.
Everything's going in the net right now, Daniela, so you get the zone time and you put pucks on net and you just never know.
8 goals combined already in this game. That's what it was. This was the final from Friday for the Frost. You have to think a few more are going to light the lamp for either side here.
Well, I don't sense they're done. I can tell you that much for sure. I'd be surprised if they shut it down.
Look at it, pour it in. Kelly Panic comes in. She's stopped by Campbell.
I think Ottawa and Montreal would like a little bit of this goal scoring.
Oh yeah, these two teams want it done in 60 minutes. They're not determined here, although for the Sceptres to get 2 goals to tie would be incredible to be able to erase a deficit like that. They still have not tied this game. Oh, and that one goes off the skate of Daniel, nearly ends up in the back of the net. Malte goes down center ice. We'll play on, 20 seconds remaining here. St. Paul, Minnesota, what a busy 40 minutes of hockey in the last 10, it feels. He's been so active, Jesse Comfort. We just got word Montreal has won its first playoff game in team history. Curl floats it through. It took them 4 overtimes, but here in the 40 minutes, it's 5-3. Turnbull and Petrie, this is how it started. With the opening face-off. Now here in the third. Looking to get set. Shots 15-12. Favoring the Frost. Minnesota leads 5-3. Toronto outshot Minnesota 13-4 in the third period of game 2, but the Frost were able to score 2 goals on those 4 shots.
Solid along the boards, down low. They like to battle and grind it out and then try to get pucks in front.
California hockey player fitting in well in the state of hockey here. has to be a fan favorite. She did miss nearly half the season with an injury, and she was absolutely missed by this team. Gets the puck back, forced into the neutral zone. Knew this series would be heading to 4 games after the team split the first 2 in Toronto. Both these teams know how big it is to get a 2-1 series lead when all you need is 3 wins to advance to the PWHL finals and play for the Walter Cup. Into the near corner as Renata Fass takes down Coyne Schofield. She's shaken up, and that will be a penalty. Minnesota going on back to the power play.
Well, she looks like she's a little shaken up, and those 2 players have had some absolutely epic battles. Now, Minnesota dumps this puck down the ice for an icing. Coyne Schofield's going to try to leg it out. Looks like maybe that hit was hard enough to break the helmet, or at least knock a couple buttons off of it, so the trainer's going to have a look. Renata Fass is going to go sit down, one of your best penalty killers.
Toronto number 14, 2 minutes for boarding.
Boarding call on Renata Fass. She did take the most minor penalties through the regular season.
Minnesota chips this puck in. Coyne Schofield's trying to beat it out. Renata Fass comes in hot on her tail and then finishes with that hit. And so she's going to go to the penalty box again. These 2 players, they have battled all series. They've battled all season.
Stay tuned because Minnesota's power play 1 for 2 in this game, scoring on their own. A shot from Quake. Her second of the game. Thompson entering the zone. Letting her teammates set up back to the line. Step line across. Now Heisey walks in. Floats it down, it's just wide. Pearl Shields gets it back out to Thompson. Pearl, the net front presence on this power play unit for the Frost. Cava back to the point, trades passes, comes in. Sets it to the hash marks for Thompson. Sustained time here, Steckline once more. On the other side, Heisey through the middle, kept out Harmon as Nurse tries to rim it. Cava. Back out. Up high, down low once more. They trade. Steckline, high slot. One-timer, Zumwinkle kicked out. Heisey. Goes cross-ice, Zumwinkle. Still forced to the outside here, Cava. Zumwinkle to Steckline. Time winding down, 45 seconds left in this power play. Steckline to Panic. Panic looking for her first playoff goal. Steckline! And it's just near wide. Kept out, my goodness. Teamwork for the Sceptres. Having to keep that goal out. Or that puck out, rather. Coyne Schofield back out here. Plays it to Kelly Panic. And that's just wide. Zumwinkle to Panic once more. Jakes blocked, and what a block it was to stop that point shot or that high slot shot from breaking through. 4 seconds remaining here, 5-on-4 fast, hungry to get out of the penalty box, and she does. It's a big penalty kill for the Sceptres there. 1 shot on that power play for Minnesota.
But a couple of really nice looks, and they got set up and got that extended zone time that neither team has really been successful with in their power play today.
Third power play as well for the Minnesota Frost, brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Ali Monroe through the middle. Loose puck with Turnbull. Puts it on Rooney, kicked out. Monroe to the far side, now Watts has it. To Scamora, it's blocked, nearly batted in by Turnbull. Watts across, trying once more. Those are some of the best looks we've seen here for Toronto. As the team gets to work down low channel, Watkins floating in. Oh my goodness, Liz Sheppers ready to put her second of the night away. Maggie Flaherty can't go anywhere as Scamora closes the gap. We're just 4 minutes into the third period. Chances on both sides, including a power play for the Frost.
This game's just been so wide open from start to finish. Liz Sceptres keeps finding herself wide open in front of the net.
She's also just an incredible playoff player. Gets it done in the big, high-pressure moments. Coming in, Petrie trying to put it past the post, but the Sceptres carry it out. Now Watts, curl with some space. Gets it to Petrie, back out. Floats by. Bookbinder keeps it in for the Frost, and a good stick there by Watts to force it back into the neutral zone. That gives some speed for Thompson. Drops it off, then picks it right back up. Carter with the pressure. But in skates going Schofield. Puts it there for Steckline, going for the wraparound. It's kept out. Sceptres battling from behind here, trying to find a way in, but they had some good looks early here in the third. Now driving is Connors in the glove of Rooney.
Well, chances all over the ice, and that power play for Minnesota, they got some really good setup, really good zone time. Lee Steckline, why not shoot the puck? And this one bounces off the end wall, hits Kristen Campbell in the pads, and squirts out the other side. Callie Flanagan's got to clear that one out to safety as Minnesota just gets that close. Toronto comes back down the other end of the ice, so some chances of their own. Blair Turnbull, who's been driving the net all series. You think the baby's happy with that little hat on her head?
Carter puts it down. I think the baby's just happy right now. Her home team, their home team is in the lead. Brooke McQuigg over to Zumwinkle. Now Nurse. She gets pressed up against the boards by McQuigg. Gives some space here for Emma Malte. Return back, one-timer, Shelby scores! What a goal for the Sceptres to once again pull within one. And it's the pride of Sweden, Anna Shelbin, who gets her first PWHL goal.
Well, it didn't look like this was going to turn into a whole lot. When Emma Malte entered the zone, she really didn't have a lot in the way of support. Nice delay, tight turn. She waits for someone coming in. Anna Shelbin comes in and fires this puck on goal. And we said it doesn't seem to take a lot of shots right now to find the back of the net, as the shooting percentages in this game are outrageous. And this one is a good shot just inside the post. And Toronto, there's no quit in their game right now.
What did we say about defensive scoring in this series? My goodness. Anna Shelbin played just under 7 minutes in game 2, and now an impact player here, as once again it's just a one-goal game.
Not a lot of celebration in her either. I thought there would be a little bit more.
Perhaps a little bit of relief. Shelbin played 24 games in the regular season, had 3 assists, and now picks up her first PWHL goal, does it in the playoffs to make this a 5-4 game. The Sceptres within one here in the third. Fast to comfort. They're within one. You have to think that's got to motivate you. Toronto Sceptres to tie this game. This game has not been tied at any point, despite the flurry of goals on both sides. This is just the second game in PWHL history that both teams have scored 4+ goals each. The other was back in February this season. The Charge beat the Sirens 5-4. Still plenty of time to keep adding to the tally on either side. Turnbull gets it out to Flanagan. Check that, Daryl Watts. Woods! The no-look shot towards the net. That might be what it takes. Gosling gets it back out from the goal line. Woods trying to close in. Flanagan stays back just to get ahead of Coyne Schofield. Does it in front. Heisey trying to put it away on the doorstep. Back in the driver's seat. Cavanaugh takes it from the high slot in through. She scores! Michaela Cava for Minnesota's 6th of the game.
I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of talk about we need to save, but we need a little defense as well, and things really have opened up. Minnesota flips this puck into the neutral zone. That's how they get their zone entry. They're on a 2-on-1. Nobody is back. Taylor Heisey gets a chance in front of the goal earlier in the sequence, and then Michaela Cava just walks through the middle of the zone. She beats 2 players to get herself into the slot. So your goaltenders are having rough nights. You need to play solid defensively. Toronto just lets Michaela Cava, who you know can score, walk right into the slot.
Goals in 2 straight games for Michaela Cava. Scored the second of the game in game 2, and Toronto has to get back to work. They pulled within 1, now they're back down 2, and Minnesota with all sorts of energy behind them, and that sets up Katie Knoll. Kind of floated in for Liz Sceptres once more, who, guess what, was in the slot. Lots to learn from this game, my goodness. Now Natalie Spooner comes in. Spooner puts it on the pad of Rooney. Another chance there. That one by Connors. Connors with a goal in this game. I mean, it feels like who hasn't had a goal?
If you come out of a game like this and you don't have a point, you wonder what you were doing.
Brooke McQuigg on hat-trick watch, by the way. She's held up along the wall. Great body position by Renata Fast to close out that lane, but the loose puck pops out. Connors coming in on Bookbinder. Panic trying to get it out. Sarah Nurse just grinding it out along the wall. Brooke McQuigg sends it back. Zumwinkel's there. Great energy from these 2 teams, considering 3rd playoff game in 5 days. Travel in between that as well.
Well, sometimes you wonder when you get these kind of games, that's usually when you get the low-scoring affairs, and it's worked a little bit opposite to what we would have thought.
But on the other side of this, of course, is a 2-day break, which will be so important before game 4, and got more penalty trouble. We have a hooking call.
Number 40, doing hooking.
I would imagine there's going to be lots of video time. There's going to be lots of time for coaches chatting with players. And so one of the conversations is going to be stay out of the box. There's Blair Turnbull stick right under the armpit. Dominique Petrie. So that's certainly a no-doubter. That's an easy call for the officials. So that's a situation where you got to take that extra stride first. So Toronto again back in the penalty box.
Royale, Tiger Towel, Paper Towel, power play. Minnesota 1 for 3 true shots. Didn't score the last time they had the player advantage. Can they be held back once again? Thompson. To Heisey to Steckline. Steckline in front. They score. Michaela Cava. Back to back, this time on the power play.
Lee Steckline is having an incredible series. She makes that cross-seam pass to Cava. Cava doesn't even handle it right away, but gets another opportunity to give a little whack at this. Minnesota wins the face-off. Lee Steckline, who sells the fact that she's going to shoot this puck, then waits it out. Looks like she's shooting. Nope, she's hitting cross-seam. Michaela Cava, the puck bounces just a touch off her stick. She's able to gain it back, put it in the empty cage. Danielle, the most used phrase of today's game is she scored. And did you think you'd say it that many times?
Now up to 11 goals in this game, 7 for the Frost, the most in a playoff game. I mean, this is a team, by the way, in their final game of the regular season, in which they need to stave off elimination, put up 8 goals. So this is not surprising from the Frost.
The game's certainly not over. The way it's going, Toronto could put in 3 goals, but should they not, they got a couple of days to regroup and figure out what they got to do to keep this a lower scoring game.
2 for 4 on the power play for Minnesota in this game. And that's the thing, their power play's been clicking. They're getting the goals from the defense. Toronto's had some opportunities as well on the player advantage. Just a back-breaking penalty there. A hooking call on Blair Turnbull. Now Bookbinder sends it down. Miller to Spooner.
It looked like that one was going to go all the way down for icing, off to wave that off. Renata Fast with a nice little behind-the-back breakout pass, so to get out of the zone.
The Frost with 7 goals on 21 shots. Sceptres 4 on 18. It has been a night for the goal lamps today.
Well, I think that's one where you start to say you get a little sunburn behind the neck when the goal light goes off that many times.
Malte trying to find Nurse, but looking to exit out of their zone. It's sent right back down by McQuigg as she goes off for the change. 8.5 minutes now. It's just about game management. You have a 3-goal lead. You're the Frost.
Well, that's a key word. And Minnesota, who's usually very good with their game management in terms of sending in one forechecker and clogging up the neutral zone.
Oh, Coyne puts it up for Michaela Gavin. She's on the breakaway. Cava denied that time. She just scored back-to-back looking for the natural. Hattie doesn't get it. Cava's hot as lava. You can see the sign behind the net. There she says, how about that? It's 7-4 Frost. Today, we join the hockey world in mourning the passing of Lisa Brown Miller. She was 58, a trailblazer in the growth of women's hockey in the United States. Miller was a key member of the U.S. women's national team, winning the first Olympic gold in women's hockey in 1998.
I had the opportunity to play against her. She was a competitor, and more than that, she was the head coach at Princeton, and so one of the first coaches that I was recruited by, so a special memory there as well. And definitely someone that made a real impact in the hockey world.
Thinking of her friends and family at this time. Right now, Daryl Watts coming in. Good stick by Jakes to force it back. Harmon trying to play it down below the goal line. Jesse Comfort back to Harmon this time. Harmon shoots and scores! It's the Sceptres captain, Blair Turnbull, that has the last touch on the puck for the 5th goal for Toronto.
Oh, my, Daniela, as we get another one. We said this game isn't over. Savannah Harmon puts that puck back down to the corner, gets herself open, gets it back, throws it to the goal. Blair Turnbull's done a really nice job all series of going to the net. She gets a really nice touch on this one to change the direction. That's about a waist-high shot. She touches it, and it goes 5-hole and into the back of the goal.
The captain's 2nd goal of the playoffs. She got it all started. The first goal of both series. Toronto's Game 1 win. So now back within 2, under 8 minutes left in the 3rd. The Sceptres know they're going to have to move quick, and they're going to have to stay out of their own zone here, because it seems like whenever Minnesota touches the puck in the offensive zone, they manage to break through.
Well, that's got to be the key, right? You need a couple goals, but you got to stop giving them up.
You're witnessing the highest scoring PWHL game of all time. We're at 12 goals. All-time Becky Keller. Comfort keeps it herself. Nurse bats it in. Where's the whistle? There it is. A good save by Rooney. Kayla Cava looks back. She's got 2 goals. No one's had a hat trick yet, but in comes Coyne Schofield. She's denied. My goodness. What a drive by the captain. She was steering for goal number 8.
She's such a tough player to contain. She's got so much speed. And
by the way, we have 2 players in this game sitting on 3 points. Daryl Watts, Taylor Heisey. Heisey becoming the first player in PWHL history with 3 assists in a playoff game. In the glove, Rooney will let it go. Approaching the 5.5-minute remaining mark of this 3rd period. Watch out, Katie Knoll. She hangs on, takes it around, drops it back. Turnbull getting in the mix with Shepers. Will go to Rimmett. Comfort's back out now. Turnbull. That ends up back deep in the Toronto zone. Shepers back out. Now Thompson. Over this time, Thompson in the high slot, looking for a lane. Find a way in. floated down Harmon. Of course, time is on Minnesota's side here. They have a 2-goal lead. Petrie trying to chase down, and Watts digging out. Now Shisheva! My goodness, that was another chance there. Curl trying to get in on the goal-scoring fun. Back out. Pull up, Bookbinder rings the iron. My goodness, what a shot! Watts to Malte, and Campbell's way out now, running, trying to get out there for the extra attacker. So now we're 6-on-5, just over 2 minutes left. Toronto's got to manage this puck here if they're going to try to pull within one once more. Watts looking to play it off. The only time Toronto has scored a 6-on-5 goal in franchise history has come against Minnesota, but it wasn't in this situation. It was a delay penalty in the first period. So this is not something the team has been successful at before. Can they do it here? Comfort trying to jump on the puck. Spooner puts it towards the net. Turnbull back behind. Comfort watches it go. Now Watts. The quick touch held in by Fast. Out to Gosling. She bats at it. Back down. I mean, this is just taking up time here, trying to find a way in. The scramble is real, but there's an empty net on the other side. Jakes has eyes for it. Nowhere to go. Comfort in the far corner. 1:20 remaining here. Fast at the blue line once more. Trying to play it with a loose puck. It's a good clear for the Frost.
Well, a couple times that Renata Fast did a nice job at the offensive blue line, keeping pucks in. Couldn't keep that one in. Natalie Spooner's kind of known for the wraparound. She tries one here, nice little pass back as she comes out. Rooney sealed that post. Didn't have any space.
Now Flanagan. Over the far side, back to Flanagan. 6-on-5, empty net. Back down Spooner. Just out of reach, Watts plays it back up to the point, Flanagan, but it'll be allowed to continue on as the puck pops up. Comfort back down, now Channel Watkins trying to send it backhand over. Of course, an empty net on the other side. Gosling tried to put it up, and it pops up. Rooney just collects it in the glove. 26 seconds remaining here, 6-on-5. Watts fires it. Malte was walking in. Back door was open, but Fast once more. Miller keeps it out, but it's 12 seconds. Can they float it through traffic? No. And an empty netter, not possible there, but it goes wide. 5 seconds remaining, and icing will be the call, so they'll reset back.
So lots of lessons to be learned. You go into game 4 in a must-win game.
Highest scoring game in PWHL history. Welcome home, Minnesota. The Frost, a dominant Game 3 win. 7-5 over Toronto. Now just one win away from heading to the PWHL finals for the second straight year. The Sceptres, though, still without a playoff road win, so they'll look to change that on Wednesday and then hopefully force a Game 5 that will be back inside Toronto. Minnesota with a 7-5 win. Thanks for joining us on behalf of Becky Keller, Rob Pizzo. I'm Daniela Ponicelli, signing off from St. Paul, Minnesota.